Today we're diving into something that can change your life forever. How to speak so people really listen. If you've ever felt nervous, uncertain, or like your voice didn't matter, this story is for you. This video will show you how to find your true voice, connect deeply with others, and tell stories that leave an impact. So if you want to speak with confidence, make sure to subscribe to the Wisdom Path, because this journey might just open a new chapter in your life. Lesson 1. Be yourself. The power of authenticity. Let's start with something that seems simple, but is often the hardest part: being yourself. Imagine walking into a room with a mask on your face. Everyone sees you, but nobody really knows who you are. That's what happens when we try to sound too smart, too polished, or too perfect while speaking. But here's the truth. People don't connect with perfection. They connect with emotion. There's a story I once heard about a young teacher named Mark. He was asked to speak at a big education conference. At first he wrote down every word, practiced in front of the mirror, and tried to look professional. But the night before the event, something didn't feel right. He threw his script away. The next day, he stood up and said, "I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to share my story." He talked about how he struggled with self-doubt, how he almost quit teaching, and how one student's words changed his life. The audience gave him a standing ovation. Why? Because he was real. Like Dale Carnegie said, authenticity is the bridge between you and your audience. So if you're afraid of public speaking, don't worry about sounding perfect. Focus on being genuine. Speak from the heart, and your message will reach theirs. Takeaway tip. Before your next talk or conversation, ask yourself, what's something real I can share that others might relate to? It can be a fear, a struggle, or a lesson. That's where connection begins. Lesson 2. Know who you're talking to. Now imagine this. You prepare a beautiful speech about gardening, and you're giving it to a room full of teenagers who care more about gaming than growing plants. No matter how perfect your speech is, it'll fall flat. Why? Because you didn't know your audience. One of the most important things you can do before speaking is to ask, who am I talking to? What do they care about? This doesn't mean changing who you are, but it means adjusting your words so they land. Let's say you're sharing a lesson about leadership. If you're talking to students, use school examples. If you're speaking to parents, bring up stories about children or family. It's like tuning your message to the right radio frequency. When you match your words to their world, they'll actually hear you. Mini story. A friend of mine, Lisa, is a doctor. She used to give talks about health using big scientific terms. But one day, a child raised their hand and said, "What does cardiovascular mean?" That moment changed everything. Now she speaks like she's explaining things to a 10-year-old, and everyone loves her talks. Takeaway tip. Before any talk, write down, who is in the audience? What do they worry about? What do they want to learn? Then shape your message around those answers. That's how you make people feel seen and heard. Takeaway. Lesson 3. Use stories to make people feel. Let's talk about something magical. Stories. Facts tell, but stories sell. They sell your message, your emotions, and your truth. Think of it this way. A fact is like a nail. A story is the hammer that drives it in. Without stories, your facts just sit there, loose and unconnected. Tony Robbins once said, "People aren't influenced by what you say. They're influenced by how they feel about what you say." Stories are how we pass down wisdom from generation to generation. They're how we teach, without sounding like we're teaching. Quick example, imagine you want to explain resilience. You could give a definition, or you could tell the story of a woman who failed her driving test 5 times and kept going until she passed. That sticks, even in job interviews or presentations. A short story about how you solved a problem, overcame a fear, or learned a lesson will make you memorable. Takeaway tip: keep a story bank. Write down small personal stories, funny, sad, or meaningful. Use them to highlight lessons or connect with others. So today, we've learned 3 powerful things. Be yourself. People love the real you. Know your audience. It's not about you, it's about them. Use stories because people feel, remember, and grow through them. This is only the beginning. In part 2, we'll explore how to practice the right way, use body language to boost confidence, and ask questions that keep people engaged. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the Wisdom Path. Your voice matters. Let's keep walking this path together. Lesson 4, practice, your secret superpower. Let's face it, everyone wants to sound confident, but confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, and the tool that builds it is practice. I once coached a young man named Tom, who was terrified of speaking in front of others. His hands shook, his voice cracked, but he had something powerful, a story that needed to be heard. So we made a deal. For 15 minutes every day, he'd stand in front of the mirror and talk. No script, no pressure, just speak. At first it was awkward, but after a few weeks, he started looking himself in the eye. His voice became stronger. He didn't just say his message, he started to feel it. When he gave his first real talk at work, people clapped. Some even cried. Here's the truth. Confidence grows from repetition. Brian Tracy once said, "Practice doesn't make perfect. Only perfect practice makes perfect." That means don't just repeat your speech. Refine it. Try different tones. Change your pauses. Say it like you're talking to a friend. Practice tips. Practice in front of a mirror to watch your expressions. Record your voice to hear how you sound. Time yourself to stay on track. Practice small parts, then build up. Even 5 minutes a day can change how you speak forever. Lesson 5. Your body speaks louder than words. Let's do a quick experiment. Cross your arms. Slouch. Look down. Now say, "I'm really excited to be here." How does that feel? Now stand tall, shoulders back, smile. Make eye contact. Say it again. See the difference. Your body is part of your message. People notice how you stand, how you move, where you look. If your body says, "I'm nervous," they feel it, even if your words sound strong. When I first started public speaking, I didn't realize how much I fidgeted. One woman came up to me after a talk and said, "You're really passionate, but I got distracted by your hands." That hit me. I started filming myself and noticed the habits: touching my face, shifting my feet, avoiding eye contact. Bit by bit, I changed them. Body language basics, posture, stand tall like there's a string pulling you up from your head. Eye contact, don't stare, but don't avoid. Look around slowly at different people. Hands, use them to show passion, not to hide nerves. Open gestures feel warm and honest. Facial expressions, let your face match your message. If you're telling a funny story, smile. It's not about acting, it's about aligning your body with your message. Think of your body like music behind your words. If your message is the lyrics, your gestures are the melody. When they match, people feel the rhythm.
and they remember it. Lesson 6. Ask questions. Create a conversation, not a monologue. Here's a secret. The best speakers don't just speak, they listen too. Asking questions turns your talk into a dialogue, even if you're the only one speaking. Why does this work? Because questions make people feel included, trigger curiosity, keep the energy flowing. Let me give you an example. I once gave a talk about motivation to a group of high school students. At first they were quiet, bored even, so I asked, how many of you have ever wanted to give up on something important? Almost every hand went up. Suddenly, we weren't strangers anymore. We were in this together. From there, I asked more. What stopped you from quitting? What helped you try again? Their answers shaped the rest of my talk. I had their attention because they were part of the story. Engagement tips. Ask simple yes, no, or show of hands questions. Use open-ended questions to spark thought. Repeat a great answer from the audience to make them feel seen. Pause after a question. Silence creates space for thinking. Even if you're speaking on a video or online, you can still ask questions. Try something like, have you ever felt this way? If so, comment below. That creates connection, even through a screen. We explored 3 powerful tools for speaking confidently. Practice daily. Even small sessions lead to big change. Use body language to reinforce your message. Ask questions to build real connection and keep people engaged. Speaking is more than just words. It's about energy, intention, and connection. In part 3, we'll wrap it all together. You'll learn how to create unforgettable endings, boost your presence, and develop your own speaking style that fits you. So don't miss it. Subscribe to the Wisdom Path and join me for the final part of this series.
Remember, your voice is not just sound, it's power, and you were born to use it. Lesson 7. End with impact. Leave a lasting message. Here's a simple truth. People may forget your beginning. They may forget the middle, but they will always remember the ending. Think of a movie. Even if the story is good, a weak ending leaves you unsatisfied. But when a movie ends with emotion or surprise, it sticks in your memory. The same goes for your speech or presentation. I once heard a speaker talk about failure. For 15 minutes he told stories, shared tips, and made people laugh. But what I remember most was how he ended. He said, "Don't let one no stop you from reaching your yes. You are more capable than you think." Then he looked around, paused, and simply said, "Go prove it." Silence. Goosebumps. Applause. That's how you end with impact. Side tips for a strong conclusion. Summarize your main idea in one strong sentence. Repeat a powerful quote or your key message. Challenge the audience to take action. Pause before your last line to let it sink in. Denzel Washington once said, "Don't just aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference." A closing line like that becomes a seed that grows in people's minds long after you've stopped speaking. So next time you speak, don't rush the ending. Make it the part they'll never forget. Lesson 8. Boost your presence. Own the space, not just the words. Speaking is not just about what you say. It's about how you show up. Presence means energy. It means confidence. And it means being fully in the moment. Let me share a story. A woman named Rita, a shy accountant, once asked me how to look confident in meetings. She knew her facts, but people often ignored her. We worked together on one simple thing, owning her space. I told her, next time you walk into that room, take a deep breath, stand tall, and look people in the eye, even before you speak. She tried it, and even though her voice was the same, Her presence had changed. People noticed. People listened. You don't need to be loud to have presence. You just need to be grounded. Signs how to boost presence. Enter with calm confidence. Don't rush. Use the pause before you speak. It builds power. Breathe slowly and deeply to stay centered. Own the silence. Don't be afraid of it. Presence is like the light around a candle. The flame is your voice, but the glow is your energy. And when you learn to control that energy, you can light up any room. Lesson 9. Find your style. Be the speaker only you can be. Here's something I believe with all my heart. You don't need to be like anyone else. You just need to be more of yourself. Maybe you're not a natural storyteller. Maybe you speak quietly. Maybe you like to use humor. That's okay. That's good, because your voice is your power. When I first started speaking, I tried to copy speakers I admired. I tried to sound like them, move like them, even dress like them, but it felt wrong. It wasn't until I started sharing my own stories, using my own pace, and trusting my own voice, that things changed. People didn't want another copy of someone else. They wanted me, and people want you too. Not the perfect version, not the polished version. The true version. Finding your style. Record yourself speaking naturally. What feels good? What feels forced? Ask friends or co-workers what they like about how you speak. Try different techniques, but only keep what feels authentic. Don't aim for great, aim for you. When you stop trying to be someone else, your words become more powerful, because they're not just sounds, they're a reflection of your soul. Let's wrap it up with the key takeaways from this final part. End strong. Make your final words matter. Boost your presence. People respond to your energy, even more than your words. Find your style. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be you. Now you have all 9 lessons that can transform your voice from a whisper of doubt into a message of power. If you've been following this series and feel a shift in your mindset, I invite you once more, subscribe to the Wisdom Path. This channel is here to help you grow, step by step, one insight at a time. Remember, your voice matters, your story matters, and you are ready to speak, not just to be heard, but to be remembered. Thank you for walking this path with me. Until next time, speak boldly, live fully, and never stop learning.